I'm Kev.
And I'm Steve.
And we're from the internet.
Want to help us spread the We're From the Internet word? Leaving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes and Stitcher would give us a nice little boost in the search results and help new listeners find us.
Hi Kevin, Steve, Rich Birch here. If one of the following three things was to cease to exist, which one would you prefer it to be? Football, Football Manager, or the day that football is most commonly played on, Saturday. So would you rather Saturday disappeared, Football Manager disappeared, or football itself disappeared?
Did you like the voice I put on there and the fact that I made up a name as well?
Yeah, it was interesting.
I tell you what, before we get into answering that question, that guy has got a much better voice than either of us have. Why isn't he doing a podcast?
Don't.
Shall we just answer the questions like in text messages and just send them to Rich Birch and get him to just record the podcast for us? Because I reckon if we had voices like that, we'd be presenting the One Show by now.
Well, Chris Evans would have something to say about it.
Does he present the One Show?
He does, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Every now and again.
Well, we could do it every now and again. We'll do it when he's not doing it.
That other fellow who sang Walking in the Air or was a gymnast, I forget which, sings it, does it?
I'm not up to date enough with the One
Anyway.
Show, I don't think.
I wouldn't want to get rid of Saturday.
Why? I got rid of my Saturday this week.
Unless they were going to replace it.
With what?
I don't know, another day that's empty.
I'm actually feeling really tired right now from losing my Saturday most recently because I had to work. It's the first time I've worked on a Saturday in, how long is it since I've had a real job? 6, 7, 8 years maybe.
Wow.
And wow, do you feel it when you get back to work on Monday if you've only had a 1-day weekend? It was horrible. I don't understand it.
I had to get up at 6:45. Well, I woke up at 6:45 both days this weekend because my kids decided to body slam me while I was asleep.
How on earth can any human, never mind a child, body slam you? This
Well,
is like when
just
Hulk
jumping on me.
Hogan picked up Andre the Giant. You don't know what a body slam is. A body slam
right.
is when you scoop up the body and then throw it down onto the
Oh,
mat
I mean, they
underneath
just
you.
flopped down on me belly first. Body slam.
There's probably,
belly
I don't know,
flop.
there's probably a wrestling term for that. Some kind of cross-body press,
They
I
just
imagine.
climbed up onto the end of the bed, stood up as high as they could, and then just jumped down on me in my sleep.
That sounds like the sort of finishing move you'd expect from the Macho Man Randy Savage. Was it Macho Man? Macho?
I don't know, macho. But yeah, that's how I was woke this weekend, and I haven't recovered from that really because A, it hurt, and B, it was far too early to be awake on a Saturday. I mean, I don't want to lose my Saturdays. That's out of the question.
Even if they all started like that from now on.
Yeah, even if then.
But what do you do if there was no football? What would Saturdays be for?
I've spent the past 2 Saturdays looking after Axolotl. It's been tiresome and annoying. I'm fed up of it.
Yeah, but you're a ridiculous human being.
Yeah.
Normal people, for a normal person, and bearing in mind, I'm far from a normal person. This is the life I used to live a long, long time ago before I discovered that the internet existed. But I think the traditional thing for a man of our age to do on a Saturday is to wake up hungover, go down to bookies, put a couple of bets on the football, have a couple of beers in the pub on the lunchtime there, and then go to the football, get hammered, and then go home and beat your girlfriend. I think it's some variation of that.
No, that's never really been the plan. I kind of get up, lay around thinking, why am I awake? It's not even 9 o'clock yet. And then I glance over at the hell my axolotl have unleashed on me of 80 kids and think, oh, I better start cleaning them out. And then before I know it, it's 6 o'clock at night and I'm ready to sleep.
Nice. So let's shelve Saturday for a minute. Saturday. Saturday is off the table. We're keeping Saturday. What are we losing out of football and Football Manager? And I've pondered this one.
Yeah,
for
I've
quite
pondered
some
it.
time because if you lose football, surely you lose Football Manager anyway. Or does it just become you managing something else? Is it Rugby Manager all of a sudden? And would that have the same feel to it?
I imagine what they mean is like the history's still there. They just start doing Football Manager as a fictional game.
What, people just stop playing football?
Yeah.
So we knew football existed once, but for whatever mysterious reason, it just stopped.
I'd be quite happy if they just said this is the last ever football season. Wherever you finish is your place in history. Because I don't know. I know Spurs wouldn't finish in the top 4. But yeah, I'd be like, right, okay, there it was. That's the end of that chapter of my life. We were the 5th best team overall. Job done. They tally it all up through the entire history of all the clubs and then put them in a proper ranking over every win, lose or draw they've ever had. And then they say, that's where you stood. And that's it. That'd be great as well. Just something to resolve the whole silly, repetitive nonsense of football every year.
Yeah, ridiculously, I think I could see myself playing Football Manager after the end of football more than I would continue watching football if Football Manager stopped. Football Manager's kind of the only connection I have to football anymore. I was a season ticket holder at Posh for 20 odd years, but I've been to 2 matches this season. Most recently, September, I think. I've watched them on the telly a couple of times since, but I haven't really been going at all for a couple of years. But I still play Football Manager every Saturday afternoon because that's what I do. It's my Saturday afternoon ritual. I play Football Manager and I listen to Posh on the radio. Well, only if it's an important match. Only an idiot would wear the suit all the time. I'm more of a tracksuit manager anyway.
Really? God, I'd be a suit manager. I was a suit manager when I played it. I'd get my team and just take them to the top in a suit.
Yeah, but then the cup final doesn't feel special then.
Well, then you break out an even more expensive suit.
I only have one suit.
Ah, no, you see, I went and bought a suit when I got into the cup final.
Would you do that for the Johnson's Paint Trophy final? Or is it
Why
just
not?
or the League Cup final?
Well, yeah, the suit would get better. If I got my team to like the Champions League final, then I'd probably have to invest in like a 10 grand suit or something.
And
I've got the wages for it in that.
As part of a protest about the ridiculousness of the Club World Championship existing, would you just go in jeans and a jumper for that?
I wouldn't even go. I'd send my assistant.
Yeah, because why does that competition exist?
It's just a way to make money, I assume.
I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Whenever I get to that point in Football Manager, it always ruins my season because you just disappear for 3 weeks and all the players come back knackered. It's rubbish.
Apparently, a lot of clubs are not doing that sort of thing anymore. They're not going abroad in their pre-season. I was reading the other day. They're all saying, let's stay at home and not wear our players out and have a nice old rest in the closed bit. So yeah, I wouldn't miss football. Let's get rid of football and keep Football Manager on Saturday, because if you're bored and you want to watch football, you can just play Football Manager instead.
I agree to a point, but I do need Rich to get back in touch with us and just clarify, is the history of football existing? Because as much as I agree with Football Manager on a Saturday, far more important than the football itself, if football had never existed as part of the rules of the question he's posed, then Football Manager would be a whole different experience. I wouldn't want it to be about American football, because that confuses the heck out of me.
Wouldn't you absolutely love the creators of it if they managed to create Football Manager without football ever existing and it was just an entirely made-up concept?
Well, the Games Workshop people did that with Blood Bowl, didn't they?
Yeah, but that was just a rip-off of football and all other games mixed together with blood.
But that's all football is. It's just without the blood most of the time. But it's just a rip-off of all the other sports. It's just hockey without the bats. Which came first, football or hockey?
I wouldn't know which came first, but...
Well, perhaps that's a question someone should ask us in the future. Which came first, football or hockey? We're not averse to doing a bit of research.
I don't know, we wouldn't know the answer.
We'd do some research. We could... Little secret, sometimes I know what the questions are before we hear them on here, so that I can look at the answer. It will become important as the shows go on, because sometimes I don't know the answer. I'm not a wizard.
Want an extra episode of We're From The Internet every week? Head over to we'refromtheinternet.com/bonus to get an exclusive weekly bonus episode 100% free.